Emotional public hearing last night in Brooklyn as tenants of rent-stabilized apartments pleaded with the city's rent guidelines board not to raise the rents. Next week, the board is expected to vote on a rent increase between 2% and 7%. Zinnia Maldonado is live in Lower Manhattan with the latest on this. Zinnia.
Well, Mary, you may remember last month a number of protesters stormed the stage during a hearing. Now, last night's hearing not as intense, but emotions still running high as this was the last public comment held before the board votes on those rent increases next week, which will, of course, affect millions across the city. With a line wrapped around the block, tenants from all walks of life trying to convince the city's rent guidelines board to not increase their rents.
I love my house. Do you love your house? Do you like seeing homeless people?
At the board's public hearing in downtown Brooklyn Thursday night, emotions running high.
I should not be paying $991 a month with 3 roommates in a rent-stabilized apartment.
Next Wednesday at 7 p.m., board members are voting for a 2 to 5% increase on one-year leases and a 4 to 7% increase on two-year leases that are starting this October. With rent in the city one of the highest in the country, New Yorkers are fuming after already seeing the biggest rent hike in almost a decade last year.
This is a city of renters. Last month, we had to take the stage to remind you that in this moment, New Yorkers are struggling.
For the Rent Guidelines Board to consider rent hikes ranging as high as 7% is egregious.
People cannot afford the apartments they have. They can't afford these increases, and we already have people facing evictions.
There are more than 1 million rent-controlled and rent-stabilized apartments in the city. The Rent Stabilization Association says owners need adequate rent adjustments to keep pace with constant increases in property taxes, insurance and mortgage rates, utility energy maintenance, and other operational costs. But some tenants aren't buying it.
You can't turn surplus profit from your buildings to make it worth your while. And my advice to you is to do what so many of us here tonight have already done. Get a real job.
Now, once again, the board is set to take that vote over at Hunter College next Wednesday at 7 p.m. We're live this morning from Lower Manhattan. Zinnia Maldonado, CBS 2 News.
Zinnia, thank you.